Out of the way.
All right. Whole Squad Sports. What's up, everybody? Dalton back again. We're going to be releasing our mock draft 1.0 today, official. Dalton curated that list today as well, and we're going to go ahead and just deep dive in and talk about the combine. How you doing, Dalton, man? How's that been on a quick week? It's been going by really fast. I don't know about you.
I agree, man. It seems like when the warm weather comes out, time just flies, and when it's cold, it drags on. So that's just how it goes. I feel like, man. But besides that, can't complain too much, man. We're getting into a good time of the year for me. Baseball season's coming around, golf's in full swing, and basketball's getting into the real nitty gritty. Like I think if you're a sports fan, it's a good time of the year.
Yeah, for sure. And then, football fans are always going to find something to talk about. Even if you didn't have the combine right now, still going to find some lists to put together and all that stuff. So, yeah, baseball, man, I'm excited actually because I like just getting out in the good weather and seeing the
Yeah.
people, I'm in the house all day. So, working from home. So I like to get out, enjoy some ball. You can zone out, even though I like it back then when the baseball games were a little bit longer. I don't know. They go by too fast now.
If you're there for sure, it's better when you're on TV though, because I
Yeah.
watch I watch 150 games a year on TV, damn near, because I watch almost every Rays game. So on TV, it's a lot better. But when you're there, yeah, it sucks, man. It feels like you're not getting your money's worth, and it just flies by.
Yeah, I swear. Well, yeah, like I said, we're going to get into that 1.0 mock draft that you were able to get us together just fresh off the press. We actually won't be dropping it on socials till tomorrow, so get a sneak peek on it today. Before we get into it, man, just without spoiling any of the picks, just your overall, thoughts on what people should be thinking before they see the list.
I want to be a little different, just because I didn't want people saying, "Oh man, he copied one guy the other." Because originally, it took me like 3 or 4 mock drafts. Originally, I did one and so I had like 29 of the 32 picks were the same as Mel Kiper, and I was like, "Oh, if I do that."
Yeah.
I just copied his list. So I didn't, you got to be a little different when you're running, when you're trying to, do what we're doing and not have established name yet and trying to get big. You can't just have the same name. So I'm going for the home run swings. And mind you, this is pre-combine, so this will change. I'll have a new one probably every other week leading up to the draft.
Yep, and then we'll be able to get those together, get some position ratings out, and some good stuff in, and as we keep rolling. But we're going to get into some news as we move along swimmingly. We got some breaking news with Jim Nagy. Jim Nagy just got hired as the GM, which is crazy to still see all these college teams get GMs now. We just seen Lombo get hired at UNC. He's getting paid $1.5 million, but Jim
Feel like
Nagy's going to be GM at Oklahoma officially. So shout out to him. Give him a round of applause here. Why we're bringing up Jim Nagy is because Jim Nagy's been running the Senior Bowl for so long and been doing it since 2018, and he was happy to have us there at the Senior Bowl. So we're big Jim Nagy guys here, obviously. So
yeah,
shout out to him.
seemed like a great guy. From when I met him, he seemed like an amazing guy. So I'm happy for his opportunity, and I'm sure he got a substantial raise. So good for him, man. Keep going, Nagy. Keep doing your thing, and I just hope the Senior Bowl gets somebody just as good as him, man. It's gonna be hard to replace him.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I think we've seen a lot of just turnover and a lot of guys where that's been I don't know. That's been pretty much just getting all these new jobs and all these new positions that's been getting open. Coach JB was saying on his today, like staff was only like 10 deep, 12 deep total back then. And now it's like 50 deep. You got staffers everywhere. But shout out to him. We'll see who's going to be running the Senior Bowl now. I wonder who they'll appoint to run the Senior Bowl. But we'll be having our ears to the ground as we want to make that a kind of a yearly thing. Had a great time.
Yeah, that'd be nice to do that every year. I wouldn't mind it. You get to meet a lot of good people, man.
Yeah, yes, and that's speaking of mock drafts, like we'll be talking about earlier. Me and Dalton will actually be going on the Draft Professor tomorrow. If you draft fanatics, if you ever seen them, or they'll be on X, on Twitter, however you like to call it, and we'll be on there tomorrow night doing a long 3 hour draft. I was able to join the boys there. I think what Monday, and then now we got Dalton on there, and we're ready to get to it and be on with Bill Carroll too. So shout out Bill Carroll, who we met at the Senior Bowl, and man, he's an encyclopedia, and it's going to be fun. You got any thoughts going into that draft that before we get rolling?
Man, I'm just excited to see what's gonna happen, what picks I'm gonna get, or
Fast, and we
yeah,
that
it seems
yeah.
tough. It seems tough.
Yeah, if anybody didn't catch the Monday stream I was on the draft, it was we did a 2 round mock. It was four of us, I think, and then we did
Yeah.
64 picks in 50 minutes. So I mean, you can't even like
No,
it
it's
was
less than a
so
pick a
fast.
minute. Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
It's less than a minute, so it's
it,
crazy. It's
it was
crazy.
crazy. It was crazy. So you had to be on your toes, guys stealing picks and stuff like that. Which that's the name of the draft. That's the nature of the beast. But yeah, excited to go on there. Me and Dalton will be able to get some good picks. But before we get into it, man, we'll get into the NFL Combine. Nothing too crazy. We got D line and linebackers going today, but just want to talk about because people are saying, Dalton, I don't know if you agree. Want to get your thoughts on this? People are saying that the combine's pretty much dead, that it's pretty much over since all these guys are sitting out. Um, what do you think? Yeah, obviously, I don't think you agree, but what I mean,
Is it?
I don't know. I
He
feel like
broke
you're
the
not
record
finding out. You got to
for
think. Only reason I think it potentially may be dead is because back then we just didn't have our phones and we didn't see the guys working out. We didn't see like all these Cam Ward clips, right? Imagine if we had zero Cam Ward clips since the bowl game because he didn't play in any of the All Star games. You know what I'm saying? Then he would probably throw. That's why I think they're not throwing.
Xavier Worthy breaking the record last year, though. That was a big deal. It hadn't like nobody cared. That was a big deal. Everybody was like, "Oh my god, he broke the record!" Like it's a big deal still if you go out there and perform. That's why I think you should go out there and perform. People still care if you do. I mean, you know what I'm saying? People still
Yeah,
care. Like last year when he broke the record, everybody was talking about it. The whole NFL.
trust me, dude. I wish Shadur and Cam were throwing.
So
I
that's
wish
my
they were.
point about it. That's why I still think it's important. I mean, if people still care about it, if the scouts were talking all about it, fans were talking all about it. It was everywhere. There's everywhere they broke the record because I mean, could you imagine who would have ran 4.5? Like how much the stock would have fell? It still matters.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I think what we're going to see is a lot of guys maybe sit out just because they don't want to get hurt or they
Yeah.
just feel like they're only hurting their stock or whatever.
Well,
But I don't know. I don't know.
I could see that point of view where you can definitely hurt your stock if you don't perform, but you can definitely help it too. I mean, if you just ball out, you've seen guys boost their stock by rounds or
But
two. Like
but I feel like the only thing you can really is
a quarterback's
agree
different though.
agree or disagree though. Do you think the only thing that you can do to increase your stock is the 40? Nobody's increasing like, oh my god, that dude ran a crazy shuttle where he might
I
go
mean,
first round now. Like
I
it's
would
pretty much
say
just 40.
I
It's
would
just
say
40.
position based. I mean, you see if a guy benches 225 40 times, I think it's
Yeah,
fine. It's
that's
like Stephen Paya got the record back in like 2009 at Oregon
got
State.
Larry Allen. I saw Larry Allen do some crazy stuff on the bench, but but I mean,
40's
I
most
don't.
important for sure, but
It's it, man. It's just the 40.
yeah.
Was it Don Terry Poe? Remember when Don Terry Poe ran that crazy fast 40?
Well, the measurements and interviews are big too, though.
Interviews
Measurements.
are good. No, I'm talking about just drill on the field because a lot of people are still going because medicals is big and medicals and interviews because I think Ashton Genty is not. He's only doing medicals and interviews. That is big. I agree with the interview part, but I'm talking about doing the actual
Real
drills.
part. Yeah.
The only thing that could really get you is running a crazy 40, right? Like
I mean, yeah, I guess so.
everything else can hurt you. People go bad on their hand size, their arm length. I mean, they. Oh my God, he stumbled on his 40. He dropped a bad throwing ball. On those little drill. The wide receiver drills where they go across the line and catch those. If you
That's what I
drop
was about.
two of those, if a receiver drops two of those, he
That's what I
he,
was
he
about
might
to
be.
mention.
That's
Like,
cooked. But guess what? If he catches all five or whatever, they don't do that much
no,
for
that's what I was
him.
about to mention. A guy last year had this. He had the best one I've ever seen. He forgot that was the last ball, so the guy threw it. He wasn't even looking. last second.
We
He went up, caught it one hand like that. They're still an undrafted, so clearly,
exactly.
yeah, the position drills don't mean anything. You're right. Shout out Dallin Hoker though. Great performance in that drill. I still think he should be in the league. Somebody give him a chance.
Hey, somebody call them up. But what they're saying is, Indianapolis. We and you went to the combine 2 years ago. If for people listening and watching, and they're about to move from Indianapolis after next year. I think that could help save
Yeah,
it. They
we
could
talked
probably
about.
bump it up, beef it up, maybe have some music going in there, kind of live golf it up. Because when me and you went, it was a funeral. I mean,
Oh, it's
quiet, quiet. People were rude. Just the seating was horrible. It was weird.
Can you
Remember,
change your opinion on this a little? Because when we talked off the script the other day, you said that you said they should always be in Indy.
I thought so too. But
Yeah,
when
that's what you said. That's what I'm saying. I
I
said
thought so
no. It
too.
should move
I
all the
thought
time.
so too. But I was watching JB today, and he was like, "Dude, it's a freaking like, it's just a funeral in there." And they
Yeah, he
said the
was.
vibes. I was watching the
Shout out
Pat
Josh Wiley
McAfee.
though.
Well, McAfee's live today, and he's live at the combine. I was watching it, and I'm just looking behind him. I'm like, it's dead in there. It's just dead. No, I agree.
None
I,
of the
I
fans though. Yeah.
I think it should be inside no matter what. I think it will be. But I was just saying why it hasn't moved, and
There's
that's
more people
why
at Super Bowl practice than the when we went to the combine.
I know that might that be
It's free
different
to
and
get
like
in,
because
like it's
they
crazy.
they have their own like Radio Row. I saw so I don't know, but they're going to be moving it. I think it should stay at Indy. Why not? I just think they should change it. They should just beef it up a little bit. They should make it more of a spectacle instead of like a freaking conference. Um, but do you think if they do move it, it would help it at all? Do you think more people? Do you? Well, I'm saying that help it. Do you think more kids, more prospects would start throwing more, would start doing the drafts if they moved it and made it
Yeah,
more?
I don't necessarily think that, but I think it would help with the ratings for sure, and
Yeah,
people going. It'd be like the draft. That's how they moved the draft, and you see what happened there. I mean,
yeah. We'll see. We're gonna
draft.
see this year at Green Bay if people roll out there because it's not gonna be the hot. It's not gonna feel amazing. It's gonna feel decent to good, but it's not gonna feel amazing there.
I mean, I love football and I love everything about football. I wouldn't go to the draft. It's too many people.
I would go to the draft if they did 2 rounds, but just doing 1 round is just pointless to me in person. I won't see if you do 2 rounds, but
There's 100,000
um,
people usually.
yeah, we'll see. I mean, at the combine, I think if they just make it more fun, maybe add some incentive. I don't know what that incentive was. Like maybe like I know they do like the fastest 40 gets to whatever contract, or they was doing like an Adidas thing for a while, but maybe something else that's not like where you have to pick a side, like a different, like a sponsor or something. But I think that'd be cool. But what we want to get into, Dalton, while we roll along from the combine, is the Colts. I know you're everybody knows you're an avid Gator fan, chop chop. But Chris Ballard's saying they're looking like they're going to be going to get a quarterback. Addressing reports here at the NFL Combine, he said for the first time that the addition at quarterback, they make this offseason will have a chance at an open competition. So it's not going to be a guy that's just going to be sitting with Anthony Richardson. And he's never really said that before. They've always been kind of Anthony Richardson's their guy, AR5, whatever you want to call him. IR5, if you want to call him that. He's on the field. He's getting blows, saying he needs to come off the field because he's tired. So I'm not hating. I'm just saying,
It's
what do
tired.
you think? Who do you think they should bring in? One young or old guy? And do you think a competition is even necessary right now?
I think you need to give a guy more than 16 damn starts. You don't have a full season worth of starts, man. I'm not even being a homer. This is about any quarterback in the league. This isn't about just because he went to Florida. He ain't playing great yet. No, for sure. I can't argue. He ain't playing great yet. But number one, when you got these kind of quarterbacks, you got to you got to put the system around them. They ain't changed the system. They're running some BS stuff. You run drop back quarterback. So for one, don't do that. Um, got to change the offense. Put him in a playbook that he's comfortable with. Let him run the ball. He's freaking beast running the ball. Let him throw deep. Let him do play action. Let him run. Him and Taylor in the backfield should be a
I
read option.
agree. I agree with that.
A lot of read options. They should have started him. They started him too early. They shouldn't have started him. They should have gave him a whole year on the bench. Now you didn't. It's too late. You got to give him at least 16. I mean, you can't give him 16 games. He hadn't started 16 games yet. He's had been
Hear
hurt.
about this. Okay, you said your first line was, I think they should wait longer than 16 games, right? So, well, guess what? He's only given us 16 games. He's always freaking hurt. Give us more than 16
He
games.
missed him last year.
Give
You got
us more. I
Flacco
know, but
for
I'm
him.
talking about give us more product, even not even off the field productivity. Give us some more pluses that rather than minuses, and we wouldn't be in this conversation. But you don't have enough pluses, dog. I just think he hasn't given them enough return on their investment so far to not bring in a guy. Has
He's
he
over.
not? I mean,
He was overdrafted. I mean, he should have went that high.
I didn't. I was on. I've never liked him.
I
I've
was only
never
saying that
liked
'cause
him
I'm a
as a
Florida
prospect.
fan, but now he's already
Well,
drafted.
I've never liked him as a prospect. He's
He
all
shouldn't have
athlete. He's never
went that
had.
high.
He's like Will Levis in college. Never had great games in college.
He shouldn't have went that high.
But
But
but who? Okay, all right. So let's
what
just
was
get
the
past that.
GM? I would
Who
have
do
taken
you
that.
think? Who do you think they should bring in though? Young guy or old guy?
Well, if they want to, if they're not giving up on AR, maybe just want to bench him for the season, they need to bring an old guy for sure. Let him learn behind an old guy, maybe Rogers or something like that. Russell
Think
Wilson.
Russell Wilson,
I mean,
maybe.
I don't think they get Stafford. Stafford's going to go somewhere. Stafford's going to New York.
I want to get your thoughts on that because Stafford, and the first and second pick of this draft hold the key to everything. To everything. We don't know what dominoes are going to fall until those three are determined. Right?
I agree with I agree with that. Stafford's the biggest name on the market in terms of quarterbacks. I could actually switch teams. Yeah, so it's huge.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So
I
we're
should
okay.
go into
So
it.
Safford maybe on your list of Colts. Maybe some. Well, give me a couple young guys if they decided to go young because we just seen in the news that Stephen Jones, the GM of the Cowboys, he's going to be bringing in a guy as well, probably ending the Trey Lance era in Dallas.
Start Jackson
So
back.
do you think maybe they go Trey Lance? Maybe the Colts go Trey Lance.
Mm.
I
mean, if you're going Trey
Hendon
Lance,
Hooker.
I don't think Trey Lance is an upgrade at all. It's the only thing
Yeah.
there. Like if you're trying to upgrade, no, you ain't going Trey Lance. I think you go complete opposite of this guy. You want somebody. If you're going away from AR, you want reliability, right? You want a guy that's not gonna throw a lot of picks. He ain't gonna have the explosive plays, but he's not gonna cost you the game. It seems if you're benching AR because AR can do those things.
Who is that? Who is that on the market to you besides maybe a
Yeah,
Stafford?
yeah,
Do
young guy,
they
right. Man, quarterbacks suck nowadays.
Hendon Hooker could get a shot.
I mean,
Could
right?
they go?
I'm trying to think of guys that produce that are on the market. There's
What
not
if
really any
they?
young. Sam Darnold is still young, technically 28, young. I mean, I guess.
Man, I don't know. I think they could go a lot of
Kenny
different
Pickett.
ways. Yeah, what's young? I feel that, but just maybe just like as a first time starter, maybe not young, but
Okay,
just a
first
guy who
time
hasn't
starter.
really been a
Okay,
starter yet.
okay.
You know, just a guy who's be a first time starter. I
Joe
like
Mixon
those.
might be put on the block. I seen.
I
Now
would love a team. I
I
would
hate
love a
that.
team.
I hate that for
I,
Indy though, because that's the same
I would
quarterback.
love a team to go get Joe Milton, but that'd be great. That'd be great.
I
I
hate it
would
for Indy.
actually, I'd actually like that. But
Me too.
before we
Oh,
get into some more topics here, I want to get into something. I don't want to sound like a hater, but don't want to sound like the old guy on the porch screaming. Get off my lawn, whatever. But we got to put something about these young coaches just walking up looking like they just rolled up out of bed. I mean,
I didn't
this
see
guy
this.
is the most. Hey, Mike McDaniel's head coach of the Dolphins is one of the most cringiest dudes. Look at this. This is a head coach of the NFL of $1 billion franchise. What do you think of this guy? Is this guy a scrub? What has he done in the
You know,
NFL since he's got? And what has Tua done?
you
The
know what?
Dolphins are the Dolphins one of the most laughable just teams right now.
I love this guy and hate him at the same time, though. To be honest,
I hate him.
I love part of him. I love part of his.
He wears capris too, man. I want to add that in.
I love part of his shtick, but I hate part of his shtick. Too much shtick going on. He's trying to do too much, man. Just be a coach and try to worry about winning games. He ain't worried about that. He's worrying about his off field shit. So I don't like that. He needs to win games. He needs to win games. He ain't that good. He hasn't done anything. You're right. He hasn't done shit.
And then some of these guys get elevated that haven't done much. And I want to get into the next guy who, I'm not gonna rant and carry on for a long time. Just want to make it clear. Like
No,
some of these guys, man, just need
just on
to.
him.
You ain't gotta wear a 3-piece suit, but just look
No,
like a
no.
head coach. Just look like a head
I
coach.
mean,
Look like a head coach. And this guy right here
head
needs
coach.
to. needs to look like a GM. This is the brand new GM of the Jags. He's wearing a hoodie under his Levi American Eagle little jacket,
It's probably
and that's a
Hollister.
and that guy is supposed to be a GM. He is a GM of the Jacksonville Jaguars now. Make this make sense. Make it make sense. That's what I want. I want to hear what you think on this guy. This guy looks like our age, younger than us. He looks younger than us, about our age, because I know we look young. But
I mean, it looks like you don't want to square up for sure. For
yeah,
one, that's he don't want to like he wouldn't square up for sure. He would run away. There's that part of it, and then
he
no
played
way,
wideout. He
no
played
way this guy.
wideout. He played wideout Division III for Westminster College, and
He might
then
know
he's
ball.
been on he's been on the Rams staff I think for about 8 years. So
He might know ball.
he's supposed to know ball, but dress like you know ball. That's all I'm saying.
Your
That
GM, you're right.
he's a GM. He
Your
is a
GM
GM.
have to wear tux, man. Even if you don't want to, you got to wear a suit. It sucks, probably. It's probably it's like it's old. I'm sure it does
There's
get old.
a there's a saying in The Sopranos. One of the guy comes to Tony. He's wearing shorts at like a cookout. Somebody and then another boss came up to him and said, "Heard you was wearing shorts at the cookout." He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "A Don doesn't wear shorts." And then he never wore shorts again. And that's what I'm saying. You gotta dress. They say dress for the job you want. Well, he's got the
Right.
job he wants. Just dress like you. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. At least a
I,
polo and like
you
something.
know, you got like I said, you got to dress. I got a comparison like the Pope. He has to wear his uniform every
Yeah,
day. He probably don't want to wear that, bro. He probably want to wear some fly shit sometime.
yeah. NFL. I know
Like,
NBA
he
coaches.
got,
NBA coaches
like
get
a
rid of
Gucci in
the.
his closet, and he can't break it out. He's got to wear the damn robe every day. So you just got to suck it up. And when you're in that position, I mean, if I was a GM, yeah, I'd be wearing tuxes every day, man. You'd see me fly every day.
I don't know, man. It's crazy what we got out here, but let's see. We'll see if the Jags can turn it around. I do like Trevor Lawrence. I'm kind of losing faith on him every week, as it seems during the season. But
He sucked last
what
year. He was part of the problem last year.
he was, and I do think Doug Pearson was not good for him. But then again, he did
No,
not
that's
help his
part of
case
the
at
problem. It
all.
wasn't a whole problem, but
Yeah, he didn't help his case at all. He plays wild sometimes, and just I don't know. He was supposed to be the dog, the guy, like the guy.
he started off
But
great. It just hasn't improved, man. Sometimes some guys reach their ceilings young, and he could be one of them.
yeah, yeah, I agree. I
Like
agree.
Derek Carr, like good career. Like Carr had a good career. Nobody be mad about your career when you're retired. Like good career, but he was. Nobody. You're like Derek Carr.
There's a lot of games he's lost by one score, an
He
inch
lost.
there, an inch here. But they say it's a game of inches, so it matters at the end of the day. If you're
He
losing,
throws a
you're
lot of
losing.
picks.
But
He does a lot of picks.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then those matter. And like I say, every inch matters. And what I want to bring up that next topic kind of lies in here is the tush push. I want to bring up the tush push, Dalton, because people, and I mean people, as in I think this is the GM here for the Packers, my Green
Yeah, I
Bay
was about to say
Packers
it.
put
Packers.
in for the league that they should be, banning the tush push, saying it is not fair. There's no skill involved, and it is almost an automatic first down on plays of a yard or less. I want to say, as a Packers fan, that's the softest stuff I've ever heard in my life. Because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And if it's legal, then you should be doing it better than us. Beat us at it. Stop it. Because guess
I
what?
thought
The big reason why the Eagles held up the trophy is because they had the best O line. It's because they had the best D line. If their O line wasn't so good, they wouldn't be getting tush pushes. They'd be
now,
getting blown up.
I agree with you on, but like I agree and disagree. The football part of me says you can't get rid of it. They just found a way to. Other teams try it and they get stopped. It's just the Eagles aren't perfect, so other teams can't do
Exactly.
it. I've seen the Bills run it and get stopped. I've seen other teams run it and get stopped. So I
Yeah.
mean, just be able to stop it. Like the Eagles just run it good. You got to have to put in your alignment on whatever. Put in your
Yeah.
alignment if they're going to run it on 4th and 1. Put in
Yeah.
380-pound guys right there. It don't matter if they play defense. If they can't move them, they can't get the first down. You're gonna have to run something crazy. But another point is all the other sports when something like this does happen, they do get rid of it.
I
NBA.
know.
Back in the
I know.
day, they got rid of the dunk even for Wilt Chamberlain. And
They
then
put the line for Shaq.
baseball got rid of the shift because they weren't getting enough runs because everybody was just hitting right, second baseman. So that is a point to think about. It's about competitiveness. They want to keep the game competitive, so maybe they will end up switching it. But I'm not a fan of it. I think if only one team is doing it out of 32, it's not like all 32 teams are doing it.
Hey, I mean, don't give up 9 yards or don't give up 9.5 yards.
Right, as a defensive team, right? If that's
Give
a
up
defensive
7 yards. Give
former
up
defensive
seven
player,
yards. Make it
it
a
could
make it
be
a
4.
3 yard. Yeah, make it a 3 yard tush push. If stop them. I mean, I get it. It's a broken play. I know
Absolutely hit
Sirianni.
both sides for sure.
He first ran it. Where was he at
I don't even remember his
before?
first.
No, he first ran it at where he had Jacoby Brissett. He brought in Jacoby Brissett for it. What team was that?
Got a comment. We got a comment from Captain Joking right here asking about Stafford top 6 QB.
Yeah, man. I was actually have that in here. Let's see here. Yeah, Stafford, man. I know.
Is he better than
I
Jacoby?
have no clue where he's going. I think that I don't know. I just think we have a lot of guys that we have no clue where they're going. I think Stafford's going to be a good addition on anywhere. If the Rams aren't going to pay him his money, which is insane to me. I mean, I think they should be paying whatever for him because he's one of the best ball spinners in the league. He has been
Listen, this guy.
proven.
He wants to know, is he top 6? Is he better than
Top
Justin Herbert?
Is he better than Justin Herbert?
And is he top 6?
Um,
Top 6? Okay, you got Mahomes, Burrow, Lamar, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts. It's already 5.
if he's got the right tools, no doubt about it.
That's all I mean.
I
Is
would
he?
I would have him right there at 5 and 6. Nobody throws. People talk about how Aaron Rodgers is not the best quarterback, but he throws the best ball. They always said that he's the best ball spinner, but he's not the best quarterback. That's now Matt Stafford. He throws one of the best balls. He gets the ball out really quick. He's proven that he can go downfield with a guy that goes outside. He's proven he can get a Cooper Cup involved doing screens. He can throw any ball. There's not a ball that Matt Stafford can't throw. I would take him on my team for sure. But you got to think about future when you're a coach, when you're a GM. It's not a fantasy league. If I had a fantasy team for next season, yeah, Stafford's depending where he goes, he might have a better season than Herbert. But Herbert got a life raft thrown to him with Harbaugh. Harbaugh's doing a great job there. So,
See, my opinion,
yeah.
I was gonna throw in Dak in there. How about Dak? Is he better than Stafford? Probably not, right?
Hell no, dude.
Because you
Dax,
won.
I don't
Okay.
think I get money's money, but you're the Cowboys. You're the most valuable franchise in all of sports. You shouldn't be worried about what the cap hit is on getting rid of Dak Prescott. You need to get Dak Prescott gone. He is garbage. Get him gone. He's done. He's done.
That was just to get you going. That wasn't serious. Obviously, Dak isn't better than Stafford. This one is serious, though. We're not talking about career top 6, right? We're talking about career right now. Is he better than Baker Mayfield?
Who? Stafford?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
No question about it.
I say no.
No question about it. But that's no knock on Baker. Baker's had a heck of a
I think
career.
Baker's better right
Heck
now.
of a resurgence. He's been tossed around like a hot potato and still lands on his feet every time. I do like him, even though his Brown stint was, got too crazy with all the commercials and stuff. So yeah, I mean, but no, I'm to Stafford, and he said he's a Raiders fan. Yeah, so
Yeah.
shout out Raiders. I want a Terrell Pryor Raiders jersey very
Raiders,
badly.
right.
Yeah, I like the Raiders, man. I do like them. I think
I have a problem with them. Giants fan, no problem with them. Just really,
him and Brady were talking. Brady and Stafford were just talking. Brady is already being bad boy GM tampering and stuff. So
yeah, I
I
know.
like the Raiders, man. I like the Raiders. Shout out Raiders. Shout out Michael Bush.
Yeah, facts. Michael Bush.
Raider. I wish Jamarcus Russell would have turned out better. Darren McFadden.
Would on a Super Bowl if he didn't get hurt the first year.
Darren McFadden, another dog. I liked
He would have won that 1 year.
Vontez Perfect ended there.
Yeah, Vontez. Yeah, Vontez.
Yeah,
Charles Woodson.
They've had a bunch of dogs. Marshawn
Yeah, I
Lynch.
mean-
Marshawn Lynch ended there, right? So
Is he in? Hell, I think so.
I don't know if he ended there, but yeah, I think he may have ended. I don't know, but yeah, he was definitely there. Yeah, shout out Raiders, man. Shout out to the comment. And then Captain Joking, shout to him. But we want to play some before we actually release our first mock draft 1.0. Want to put in here just a little video just to show you. I want to show you this guy's name's Coach Matt McChesney. He trains linemen all across the nation, gets linemen together, gets them ready for the draft if they're already in college, but pretty much runs a recruiting service and trains them. He's got high school kids in his facility at 5 a.m. every day. This is just something if any players watching, anybody there, just to show always be a dog. But I'm going to show this video real quick before we get into our mock draft.
This is Coach McChesney down here at 6-0 Football Academy. The 5 a.m. just got done. It was a hardcore morning. I was on everybody's ass, and it was pretty much all the veterans in here this morning, with the exception of one. And it was very competitive and extremely up-tempo. And the group separated. The leaders went to the front and were very vocal. The followers went to the back and put their eyes on the ground. There's a lot of separation that happens in days like this, which is why we do it. The perfect 10's at the end. Every rep counts. If you false start, we start over. If you don't finish, we start over. Everybody's accountable. It's not just on the individual. We have to come together. So we're looking for leaders. College football players are looking for men. They're not looking for sheep. So we're pushing people in here hard because we're accountable at 6-0 to the development of college football players, not the progression of high school football players. Everybody in here has college football dreams. You're already in high school. You need to start acting like you're at the next level when you're at the level you're at. If you're a good high school player, act like you're supposed to be in college already. If you're a good college player, act like you're supposed to be in the NFL already. Stop conning yourself. You have to decide if you're going to work. You have to decide if you're going to strain. You have to decide if you're going to sacrifice. You have to decide if you're going to get out of bed. You have to decide if you actually want to do this shit or if you just want to play football. There's a lot of dress-up artists. This isn't Madden. This isn't create a player.
Yep, Coach McChesney, man, he'll get your blood pumping. I love watching his videos, dude. 6-0 Academy. Go on Instagram. Go on any social media platform. He trains some of the biggest dogs. Follow line. Anybody knows football, O line and D line. That's where the game's won. He played 6 years in the league. Played defensive line at Colorado. Went to the league as a D lineman. Got moved to offensive guard, and played for another 5 years. So played both ways in the league. Got a crazy story. Go follow him. Go check his stuff out. Some of the linemen he follows are trains. Brett Coolidge is a guy coming up, and he's a beast, man. He's an IMG Academy guy. So he's a beast, man. Shout out Matt. But what we want to get into before we get into the nitty gritty, and we got our first mock draft 1.0. Dalton was able to get this together. I threw the graphic together today. It's actually going to be going on our socials tomorrow. So here it is. We're going to go pick by pick. Dalton's going to give us a rundown of what he thinks. And here it is, people. 1.0 official. First ever mock draft for Home Squad Sports. Very happy here. Just, put a lot of effort into here. We're going to have a couple more before the season's over. I'm going to make this full screen real quick, and then I'll be able to get it.
This is Coach McChesney down here at 6-0.
All right, can you see that, Dalton?
Oh, yeah.
Perfect. All right, so let's go first pick. Man, to give us a thought on your draft, I want to go first, just pick by pick. You'll go ahead and announce them, man, and just give me your thoughts. And let's go ahead and roll with it. First pick, who you got?
We got the Titans on the clock, and I think they go with Abdul Carter, Penn State defensive end, man. Michael Parsons comp, moved from linebacker to DN like Parsons did. He just did it in the NFL level, but he did it in college level, so he's already ready, and he can play both if you need him to. But he's looking like a standout DN, man. Maybe Myles Garrett level, just an absolute game changer.
He is, and then now they're saying he's got a little injury that's going to be taking about 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
That's coming up, but some people are kind of going crazy about it. Some people are saying it's going to play a factor. I like him. I just think he's a pencil in right now. I think people are just putting him in there by, default right now. I think he's good. And people think when that's happening, you're thinking it's bad. This reminds me of the Will Anderson pick a lot. People are just putting him in there like, oh, he's a beast, so he's number one. And I think he's a beast, but I don't know if he should be number one. I don't know. But guess what? I don't think there's a consensus number one in this draft, so somebody has to go number one. I get it.
For
I could
sure.
see I could see the Titans just doing something absolutely crazy because it's the Titans, right? I mean, it's the Titans, um, so I can see that happening. But that kind of lets the first chips fall where they may. The Titans said they're not missing out on generational talent. I guess they're referring to Abdul Carter here, is what you're thinking. So I feel it. I feel it. So go ahead and go in second pick, Browns. Love it. Let's see it.
Cam Ward, quarterback from the University of Miami, booed them, but he had a great year, man. I don't think any other class, maybe ever, UQB won. Not a knock
Yeah.
on him, just his class is really lacking in top tier QB talent, in my opinion, and most people's opinion. The Browns just can't afford to pay another vet. You know, rookie's just coming away cheaper contract, and Watson's out for the year with the Achilles, so they need somebody. But I don't think they can afford to pay a good vet, so they pretty much have to draft somebody, I think. And I think they like Cam over Shooter.
Okay. Okay. Actually, I'm not hating on it. I'm rocking my Shadur right now. I think I can see why you got that because but right now, in my opinion, he's getting drafted off his shorts and shirts film right now. I think Shadur is going to be, he's a pads and helmet kind of guy. He throw in the game and he's just a baller. This is another, and I think in the rookie season, we're going to be able to see why one went to Jackson State just because he wanted to play with his dad. He had offers from Alabama. He chose to go there. And we're going to see why the guy went to Incarnate Word because that's the only offer he had. And I'm not hating on it. But I really think those things matter. He's a fifth-year guy, and we got a four-year guy. I'm not hating on Cam Ward. That dude throws that ball so hard off his – I love it. He's a great on-the-air quarterback guy with no – great. 7-0. Great. His shout out Daryl Colbert trains both of these guys. Win-win for this dude. Shout out Daryl Colbert with Select QB. Trains great quarterbacks. So I see why Cam Ward's going to do that because it's the Browns. The Browns, this is the Browns pick. I totally feel it. Now, we'll go ahead and move on because I'll touch on Shadur in a little bit. But we want to go now. Your Giants, man, at 3. What do you got?
Best player in the draft overall, I think. Go with the diverse Travis Hunter, man. University of Colorado, Heisman Trophy winner. Drops at 3. We'll be happy with it. I think we end up signing a veteran quarterback, whether it be Stafford, who we're trying to get, or somebody else,
Yeah.
less proven. But I think we'll get one. We're not going to go with I'm not going to go with Shooter or Cam. Even if both of them are here, I think we're not going QB. We're going with the best player available, and it's not going to be QB either way. So Travis Hunter here, man. He wants to play offense and defense. We'll see what our coaches do with them. But either way, I think we got a great talent. He's on offense. Malik Neighbors and him together would be dangerous, man, especially if we get a good quarterback. And then on defense, you got him and Banks at corner would be a pretty good duo. So either way, I like in this pick, man, and I think he's just a great talent.
All right, I feel it now. If everyone watching, all our visual listeners here, we got third. We're going straight down now. So, all right, we got Will Campbell, offensive lineman here from the Patriots. A lot of offensive linemen, a lot of depth. Man, it's been a lot of guys. People are saying this is a down year draft. This is people I don't think know draft because so many of these guys are going to help you win, ball games. I think there's a couple. I think there's a couple of these guys a little too high. But what do you think about Will Campbell as being the first offensive lineman taken off the board?
Well, I mean, it's pretty consensus, honestly. I couldn't even branch out here, man. Everybody got him being the first lineman off the board. Once you go past him, I mean, you got a lot of guys second to sixth that are pretty interchangeable. I've seen, Josh Simmons and Ariante Ursaray,
Yeah.
Dimbu from Missouri. You got a lot of them guys. Josh Simmons. But the first guys, I've always seen Campbell. Everybody's saying Will Campbell's the prototypical left tackle. Joe Alt mold from last year,
He does give me a nice Joe Alt, kind of like a Jokel
Look and
kind of
play.
feel to him. Yeah. Yeah. I like it. I like the pick. I think the Patriots can make some noise. Drake May needs some help, man. He's running for his life a lot this past year. And do you think Patriots give me their fourth pick this year, Patriots, give me their pick next year? Are they going to be top 5 next year still? Do you think is this going to help them too much?
They need to have some weapons around May for sure. I mean, he don't have nobody to throw to, so you got to have some people to throw to and some weapons to get the ball to in order to win games. So
Yeah.
we'll see what they do later on in the draft. But if they don't have weapons, they'll still be in top 10 for sure because you got to have somebody to throw to, man. No matter how good your quarterback is. And he looked great as a rookie. I mean, we know the Pro Bowl don't mean anything anymore, really, but he made it as a rookie. So it's still impressive, even if it don't mean anything. He's got to surround him with talent, man. I almost had him taking McMillan here, but it just seems like the consensus is all the receivers are not going top 10, so I couldn't go on that limb. I like McMillan more than most people. It seems like.
I think everybody was on the same page with McMillan going into the season. I think he's been
John made it
falling.
too.
Yeah, he's been falling. There's some guys that's been falling, honestly, that we
He was
haven't
the only
really.
bright spot on the Arizona team this year. They were terrible.
Yeah, exactly. If they didn't have him, I don't know what would have happened with
He
this
had
year. They were
1,300 yards. Yeah.
Yeah, they were the only. You knew where the ball was going if you watched Arizona every single play. Most predictable team all year last year.
Yeah,
So
he's
yeah,
just.
I agree with you. I
I
mean, I
had,
don't know why he's falling. There's a lot of receivers. I think a lot of these GMs, a lot of these coaches are licking their chops at these next couple drafts coming in of these receivers and maybe banking on some free agents. But I like the pick, man. I like the pick at Will Campbell there at 4, which is going to round out our top 5 with Mason Graham and the Jags getting after the quarterback, getting some pressure. What do you think about this pick?
well, they need help pretty much anywhere on their team besides they're going with Lawrence and what other position are they loaded at? They got good pass rushers on the outside, but inside they're pretty bare. And Mason Grant could be a game changer inside, man. Great pass rusher. Weighed in 296 today, a little undersized, 32-inch arms. Not great, but I think it doesn't really matter if you get after the quarterback. I mean, Aaron Donald his measurements weren't good either, so you can't really look at
No,
that. I'm not saying he's going to be Aaron Donald. No, I'm not
yeah.
saying that at all. Let me get that out the way. He ain't going to be
Hey,
that
but
good.
but but he's not the only one. There's a lot of guys that are like that in the league. A DJ Reader.
Yeah,
There's
DJ
guys
Reader.
like that who just aren't. And then you got the guy that's coming out of Utah this year,
Junior Safuna, yeah.
Junior Tafuna, stubby guy, but he wins almost every rep. I
And
mean,
then we would go to the other side of the ball. North Carolina, man, I forgot that guy's name though. The
oh
lineman,
yeah.
5'10",
I ain't talking
280.
about. Yeah, he's a beast. He was
Sorry,
in our
but
last. Yeah, he was in our last video. I had his name the other day on the tip of my tongue. I was talking about him, but yeah, I think a lot of these guys. I mean,
yeah,
I don't look. You want good length at like a 3 technique, obviously on your ends. But when you got a guy, because we have a few of the guys that's going to be playing a lot of nose. When you got a nose, you don't need a crazy length on there. So I like it. I like the pick. So we got Mason Graham rounding out the top 5, which brings us to our next pick, Dalton. Which second quarterback taken off the board. Fallen in some cases here is what some people would agree with. I don't think Shadur's done his best as promoting himself this offseason so far. But you got Shadur going to the Vegas Raiders. Tell me what you think about the pick and how you came into it and how you think it's the best fit for him.
I went back and forth here between this guy and Ashton Jeanty, believe it or not.
Ooh,
It's early, yeah.
ooh,
No, they
wow.
just they just need difference makers, and their run game's been bad for forever. Josh Jacobs, even when he was there, he only had one good year really that was productive. So they just need a real good back, man. But I think quarterback's more important, and I don't think they're going to end up trusting any of these veterans this year. I think they're end up being like, oh, these guys are all not that good. So let's just start with the young guy, man. While we're picking top 10, Shadur, to me, I think he can be great. He could also be a bust because I don't think he can throw outside the pocket yet. He's going to have to add that to his game. He's very good in the pocket, but NFL, man, half the time you're outside the pocket. You've seen it with Burrow. Even Burrow's outside the pocket, man. Like you got to be able to move a little bit. And I'm not saying he can't move, but I watch a lot of film, and he does struggle when he's on the move. And Oakland's going to have a lot of good teams, man. They play a lot of good teams in that division. 6 games against the Chiefs, the Chargers, and the Broncos.
Yeah, and it was the most hyped division last year
He
coming in,
needs, he needs some
and
receivers too. Let me say that Shadur's going to need
yeah,
some receivers to succeed. Jacoby Myers number 1, but who else do they got?
they don't have too many guys that really
Rock
stand out.
Bowers.
And they have who?
Rock Bowers.
I love Brock Bowers. Over 100 catches first year. Shout out
Over New
Brock
York.
Bowers. He fell right into their hands. I think they have another gem falling right into their hands of this pick, man. I think Shadur, he reminds me of Jared Goff if I want to have to put a comp on him. It's hard because, like you said, he's not crazy mobile. But I'm on record saying if anyone's watched it in the past, I think Shadur can make a good team great. He can make a bad team good. And I just think some of these other guys, a Cam Ward, a Jackson Dart, they can make a bad team steal a couple games. I think they can make maybe get to the playoffs. But I just think that's just what I think. I think they both can succeed in their own right. Cam Ward can do it. But if you're a gambling man, I've just seen Shadur be so consistent for so many years now. Does some of the off the field stuff bother me? Yeah, a little. Does he look a little bit not locked in? Yeah, sometimes. But when them lights come on, when I've seen too many just times him just put the team on his back. He can make all the throws. He's played for 2 schools, 3 conferences. You know, bad O line ever since. I think that's such big. And like you said, he doesn't throw on the run right east west, but he's never had a good O line. So what does that tell you? Does that mean if he's getting pressure, he's going to stick in there and throw that freaking ball? And he does not fold. And I agree with you. He does need to get mobile. He ain't perfect. He does have some stuff he needs to get in his game. His deep ball is not as good as I don't think as it should be, but I just think he's gonna win a team a lot of games, and the Raiders is a good fit for him. I like you putting this pick, and we're gonna move on here and tell me what you got here at 7 because we're gonna have some 2.0s, some 3.0s. But man, I like it so far. Where your head's at, Dalton. But let me know what you thought here at 7.
Now, this is the first team I was really like, I don't know what to do with them, man. They really need a quarterback. They're off the board. I could see him going with Tyler Warren here. This is my first Tyler Warren popped in my head, but I think they just need talent. And Michael Williams, man, he's one of those guys that can play linebacker or DN, and I think he can get perennial 10 sack a year guy. He proved it in the SEC, and he's supposed to have a great combine. Not sure he did today, but we'll have to check that out. But he was supposed to be a big combine mover. But I really like this guy's game, man. He's stunning in the SEC, and if you do that, we got a lot of Georgia guys first round. It's Georgia, man. He's Georgia. If you plug and play, guys, let's plug and play. If you
They
roll to
are.
Georgia, you're going to be ready to go.
Yeah, yeah, they're the new Bama, especially since the coaching change, since DeBoer, in my opinion. Like you said, plug and play. You couldn't have said it better. So we won't be able to get through every single pick, which we'll be able to deep dive next week on the rest of them. But we're still keeping rolling here. Now you got Malachi Starks going to Carolina. Carolina's looking pretty promising, honestly, in my opinion. I think they could shock the nation next year. But what do you think about this pick, getting some help there at DB?
It's early for a safety, in my opinion, but I just think they need help everywhere, and I think he's the best player available in terms of every position. You don't want to reach. They need help everywhere. Like I said, like what are they good at? Like Chuba Hubbard, the running back. They need help at
Yeah.
receiver for sure. They definitely need tight ends. O line's nothing to write home about. Pass rushers, they need everything. So
And
Malachi
I want to get
just the captain though of that defense.
I want to get your opinion. Do you think Xavier Leggett's a bona fide number 1 for this team, or do you think maybe they need to get a 1? What do you think?
No, he didn't look like it as a rookie.
Yeah.
Dropped a lot of
Uh,
balls, but it's 1 year. I mean, I like his measurables and his talent, but you got to be able to catch the ball.
yeah, I agree. I think they have some promising. They have some stuff there that's looking good. I think a couple teams are kind of on that cusp. I think they're a couple years away, but I definitely expected them to have a higher pick. In my opinion, definitely expect them to be at number 1 or number 2, no question about it. But Dion hasn't had to come out and say we ain't playing for them because I think a lot of people thought Carolina or maybe some other teams was going to be at top. But all right, so we got James Pierce Jr., D in there, edge rusher, going to New Orleans at your next pick. And tell me about this guy, man.
University of Tennessee. A lot of people had him projected top 5, even number 1 going into the year. So a little bit disappointing if you look at it in that scope. But if you're still projected top 10, I think he did pretty good. He ran 4.47 today, by the way, as a DN. So
Jesus.
I think
God, 4.47.
I think I made a good call on this one. I went on a limb here, like a lot of people hadn't gone 30th before today, but I think I made a good call on this one because he's only going to skyrocket after today. Yeah. He ran a 4.47. Just a freak pass rusher, one of them in the Jadeveon Clowney mold. Like,
Yeah,
maybe not as good, but in terms of the freak level, man, he's just a freak out there when you run a 4.47 at that size.
for sure.
Somebody's gonna take a game on you early, and the Saints need help. Is in a lot of these teams in the top 10, man, they need help at every position.
Yeah,
So take best available, and I think James Pierce is going to be a great pick for them.
I agree. I think I like that pick as well. They need some help. Just getting to the quarterback. Sean Payton kind of left them in a bad hole with cap, so free agency is not going to be as much of an option for him. So yeah, man, I agree.
Say Cam Jordan's he's really old now, and
Yeah,
he didn't play much last year. He's a cut candidate, so they really need a DN.
yeah, yeah, they do, and that's a hard job. That's a hard job. And then now they have they have their quarterback that just got hired at their head coach, quarterback from Boise State.
Kellen Moore.
Remember, Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore just got the job at the Saints. Oh my God, crazy! That's a tall order. If I was him, I would stay as a coordinator for another year because I wouldn't want to go into that job. That's a hard one. That cap
No,
issue they have is a
yeah.
problem. Sean Payton left them in a bad spot with that
Yeah,
cap.
it's not nobody. Yeah.
Derek Carr's not that. He's not the guy. And then they have Spencer Rattler, not the guy, and Jake Hayner, not the guy. They need a quarterback. So yeah, that's obviously you're going to take a head coaching job. Why wouldn't you? Because he's probably going to get another head coaching job, no matter if he does what with the Saints. Because this has been a tall order to turn this team around. So I like it. I like it. So you got Kelvin Banks going to the arch nemesis of the Packers, the Bears. The Packers don't have an owner, on their team, but they do own this team in Chicago. So Kelvin Banks, another O-line help there. What do you think about it?
Well, Caleb Williams had broke like the record for most sacks in a season or something. So I think this is pretty self-explanatory. They need O-line help. You got to protect the franchise. He's supposed to be the guy. Me and you don't agree, but
yeah, he's
supposed to be the guy. They're hanging their hat on this guy. So if, you got to give him protection. You got to be able to let him throw the ball. So this is in his future pick. 5 years down the road, hopefully this guy's the top 5 left tackle in the league, and Caleb Williams is still back there throwing the rock.
I feel it. Then the next one we have here, which is I like this pick coming up here, 49ers. You got them taking Will Johnson. They're getting some help at back DB. I like that pick, man. And I took him in the mock draft with the Draft Fanatics the other day. So, yeah, I like this pick a lot, exactly. What do you think about the 49ers? I know they may get some help at quarterback. I think they definitely need to get a vet, in my opinion. But what do you think about the Will Johnson pick, and what made you, take them there?
Think about receiver because Debo might be gone, but they invested first round last year in Parazol, and when he came back after getting freaking shot, he actually produced pretty well. So I think maybe they'll be comfortable there. Will Johnson would have went earlier than this too if he didn't get hurt. Great size, great ball production. He don't get thrown out a lot, but when he does, he usually deflects it or picks it off. And he didn't play no bums. Ohio State receivers, you got to face him all the time. He was never really exposed. I like this guy a lot, man. He's got it all at corner. I think he's obviously corner 1, and I don't think it's even close this year.
Okay. I like it. I like that a lot, actually. And like you said, head and shoulders, I think, above them. O-line and some of these D linemen, it's kind of, you wouldn't go wrong with a couple of them. You can kind of shuffle. But this guy, I agree. I think he's head and shoulders above, most of the other DBs. So next pick, I'm very interested. A lot of it's not surprising as some of the mocks. But I do think it's surprising. I don't know why Ashton Jeanty is projected this high. You got him going to the Cowboys as well as a lot of people. I know they need some running back help, but with such a deep running back class, they're in a weird spot. They're not, the middle of the draft. They're not at the top. But what do you think about Ashton Jeanty going up this high one and going to the Cowboys as well?
I just look at their situation. Schottenheimer loves to run the football. The whole family.
Freaking Schottenheimer, dude.
The whole family's always loved to run the ball. That's just what they rely on, and Rico Dowdle's not it. If they get Jeanty, he's a real difference maker, man. If Dak comes back, if Dak comes back healthy and Jeanty's able to have Ezekiel Elliott like year, they're back to the playoffs. I'm not saying they ain't gonna win nothing, but they can make the playoffs.
Man, I like Jeanty. Do I think he's the best back? Yeah, but if I'm a GM, I don't pick him. I just don't. Exactly, it is close.
Is 1B to me. They're not even 1A. Like it's 1A, 1B.
You can get you such a stud running back in the 3rd round this draft. It's crazy. It's crazy. 4th round. Probably late 3rd.
for
Late
sure.
third, you can get you a back that can take some snaps for you at one. No question. That's my opinion. That's why I just wouldn't take him so high, just because it's so deep. Do you remember a class being this deep at running back? I mean,
No, probably never, man. I mean, there's so many everywhere you look. There's another good back. They're like falling off trees this year.
we got Saquon doing it big. We got obviously bro, Derrick Henry doing it crazy, and Steelers. They still who's their big back?
Najee Harris, he's weak though.
I know, but do you see? But I see they might be bringing in Nick Chubb.
Oh, I was gonna say they might. Yeah, Najee might get cut.
I know. Do you think Nick Chubb? I'm rooting for Nick Chubb. I
I
hope
think
he goes
he's
somewhere and
wrong.
finds a good home. He deserves it.
I think he's wrong.
Actually, had money on the game that he broke his leg in. Had money on that game.
I traded him. I traded for my dynasty league the week before, so
Oh man,
we're both,
he was.
both had a rough week.
Hey, guess what? Both of those plays that we made were great plays because before the injury, I mean, absolute dog,
I swear, we didn't know. We can't
absolute
make that.
dog,
You can't predict
absolute
it.
dog. That's why I don't. That's why I'm saying I don't think if you're the Cowboys, just go get Nick Chubb. Like, go draft you some O line help or something. Their O line's not the best in football like it was for so long. So I don't know. I'm not hating on your pick. I just don't see why he's going this high when there's so many running backs. But let's go ahead and move on. We'll get a couple more picks in here before we head out. We'll round it out, do two more picks, and then we'll next week we'll dissect the rest of the draft. So we got Tyler Booker, another O lineman here, going to the Finns. Hopefully Tua trying to keep his head on his shoulders, literally. Just trying to keep this guy out the concussion tent. What do you think about the Tyler Booker adage here?
I say I went back and forth between Gray, Zabel, and Booker here. I think only one guard's gonna make the first round. So I know Zabel's not on the list, but I think it's only because one guard. You know, guards aren't as highly drafted as tackles, and I think Zabel's being looked at as a guard first and foremost. But Booker is great guard, man. I watched him a lot at Bama just because I'm an SEC fan. I watched a lot of Bama games, and almost every time they ran, it was behind him, whether he pulled or just trapped, whatever. It was behind
Yeah.
him. So he proved a lot in college, and I think his game is just plug and play guy again. And they need all the help they can get to protect Tua, man. I mean, he's how fragile he is. He's missed a lot of games, and you just got to protect him. And that's what it's about. They really think he's the guy if he stays healthy, which I disagree with that one too. I don't think he's very good, but the Dolphins see something in the guy.
Yeah, I agree. I do like the pick here with them getting some help because they really need it. The Dolphins have some just problem on their hands of keeping Tua, upright and just keeping him playing football. So with our last pick, what we'll end it with, I wanted to end it on this one just because one time we're coming up on the hour. But I love the player. I love the pick, man. You got the Colts getting Tyler Warren, best tight end in the nation. Another great tight end class, but great tight end. What do you think about this pick here? And I mean, Colts are great, known for their tight ends, but let me hear about it and sell everybody else on the pick if they're not thinking the same way.
On the big board, man, it's my number 2 player in the class. Travis
Ooh.
Hunter and Tyler Warren. I mean, position be damned. I mean, position value, he would go down a little bit just because he's a tight end. But if you're talking overall best player, second best player in the draft to me. Travis Hunter's 1 because he can go both ways, I think, successfully. Tyler Warren, number 2. That's crazy for a tight end, man. This guy can do it all. If you need him to 4th and 1, if you need to handle the ball, I mean, we've seen him at a Wildcat. He breaks 8 tackles every time he gets a carry.
Beast. I love Tyler Warren. Love him.
Way too big for a safety. He's way too big for a safety, 265, and just way too athletic for linebackers. There's no good cover for this guy. I mean,
You're giving up something else if you put too many guys on this guy. You're giving up some underneath routes. You're giving up some check down routes if they're throwing. And I agree. He's every time you watch I watched more Penn State football this year I have in 10 years. So yeah,
and if they
crazy.
stick with AR, I think this would be the best thing ever for him. Because
Safety blanket, man.
Yeah,
It would
that's
be
what I'm saying.
kind
You
of
got Pierce. Pierce is a great deep ball threat. That's all he catches is deep balls. And Adonai Mitchell was supposed to be really good deep ball threat. They drafted last year. Struggled a bit as a rookie. Had a lot of drops. But he's supposed to be really good. They got them 2 deep balls, and they got Pittman underneath, and they got Warren underneath, man. And Taylor in the backfield. There's no more excuses for sure for AR. Let's say that. There would be no more excuses.
Yeah, I could see them having like a Mark Andrews, Lamar kind of situation there before Mark Andrews started costing them games. But I like it, man. I like the draft order. Like I said, this is going to be actually going up on socials tomorrow. So, man, I'm really excited. I think it's going to be awesome. And man, I think you did a good job. We'll go ahead and go over all the rest of the picks. I like the Mike Green there sneaking in. People think he's falling maybe for some off the field stuff. So man, he would be a steal if he goes to the Eagles. I think they might have to bar some. They'll be making some new rules or something because that defense will be rigged. I mean, God, they had Mike Green on that freaking defense. Oh my God, with that D line, he'd probably play a lot of linebacker. Because he put his hand in the dirt too.
I mean, he weighed in pretty impressively. I think he weighed in over 250 today, which is more
Yeah,
than expected. So he might just be a straight up end, but either way, he's a beast. I mean, it doesn't matter.
yeah,
They're getting a good player. Whoever gets him is getting a good player as long as his off field issues check out, which we're not going to get into yet because we don't got enough details. So
yeah.
hopefully everything's okay there. But the
I
one
feel
pick
it.
I think I reached the most on would be the Cardinals with McMillan. They drafted Marvin Harrison Jr. first round last year. I know they just drafted a receiver,
Hey,
but
I like the pick actually.
they
I
have
like the
nobody else.
pick.
They don't have nobody else.
I like the
They still,
pick actually, bro. I
they
like
still
it
only got one.
actually.
Thank you. And then they got one receiver still.
Yeah, I
Who's
like
their
that
number
pick,
two?
man.
Michael Wilson's a number two. Like you got to have another receiver. So
Yeah,
Kyler Murray, that he's playing great last year. He just needed somebody else. So McMillan and Harrison Jr. together could be very tough to defend.
I like it. I like it actually. I think it's a good pick. I think a lot of these guys are going to get some really good weapons, some twos, some ones. There's some guys just really some challenger ones that make your ones better, make your twos better, and it's going to be a great draft, man. But like I said, we'll dissect that later. If anybody wants to catch us tomorrow night, we will be on the Draft Professor Show on Draft Fanatics. We'll have a link in our Instagram story, in our Facebook as well, and on our Twitter, our X. So get on there tonight. We'll be making some picks tomorrow night, me and Dalton. So before we head out of here, Dalton, you got any closing words, closing thoughts for the people?
Watch the Nuggets game. We're up 3 at the half. But golf today, if anybody's a golf fan out there, Jake Knapp shot 12 under, 59 today. Only the 18th 59 ever in PGA history. Anything under 60 is amazing. Had
Okay.
eagle putt on. He had eagle putt on 18 to go 58. Just missed it, which would have tied the record. So see what he does the rest of the weekend. See if he can keep it up. And then Saturday got a huge day of hoops, man. College basketball, full swing now. Excited for the
Yeah.
tournament. We're getting real close to the
Can't,
tournament.
Yeah, we'll have some tournament coverage as well. Been able to get football rolling
Oh,
here.
we'll do
Basketball has been having unfortunately take a back seat, but yeah, we'll get you finish the draft, our first round next week, and get you all caught up. But in the meantime, y'all have a great weekend, and we'll be posting our draft tomorrow. You'll have a good one.
it. Y'all look out for it. See y'all later.